Welcome to the first ever midweek weekly update here on the Brisbane Channel. This update will feature all the updates that affect the Greater Brisbane area happening at a state government level. This week that includes the 2032 Olympics updates, housing, education, crime, and a whole lot of industrial action across multiple industries. Let's start with two updates relating to housing. Firstly, the Boost to Buy program, where the state government helps first home buyers with up to 30% equity for new homes and 25% for existing homes valued at up to $1 million. This has seen over 11,000 expressions of interest from potential home buyers. Successful applicants will only need a 2% deposit. The thing is, it will only be made available to 1,000 of them. Sorry to the 10,000 plus unsuccessful applicants. Another effort to help more people with accommodation announced in the last week is the first of 3 build-to-rent projects supported by the state government. Located in Newstead, Live Anura will offer up to 99 affordable apartments out of a total of 400 to renters who work within 10 kilometres of the site. The media release doesn't mention how much the rent will be reduced by, but the undiscounted rents are listed on the Mirvac website. According to the Rental Tenancies Authority, the median rent for a one-bedroom apartment in Newstead in the second quarter of this year was $600 per week, at least $100 below the price in Live Anura. While the median rent for a two-bedroom unit in Newstead was $760, over $200 a week cheaper than in this complex. So while the claim is that 99 of these apartments will be affordable, without details on how much the price will be reduced, it's hard to say just how affordable they'll actually be. One more housing-related update is that major changes in Queensland's property laws come into effect from the 1st of August. The new seller disclosure scheme requires sellers to provide key disclosure information and documents to buyers before a contract for a property's sale is signed. The information includes these things. It also requires prescribed certificates, such as body corporate certificates, be obtained and provided to the purchasers. I've put a link in the video description for those who would like to know more about the scheme. Let's move now to the multiple strikes and sets of industrial action either happening or currently planned. Firstly, teachers. After over 95% of union members voted in favour, state school teachers will strike on Wednesday next week, the 6th of August, as they continue negotiations for better pay that have not been successful so far, after 17 meetings with the Department of Education over the last 5 months. The current offer is a 3% wage increase backdated to July this year, but that is conditional on the offer being accepted by the 31st. On the day of the strike next week, any children who do show up will be supervised by teachers who are not members of the union. Nurses are also currently carrying out industrial action, but not in the form of full-out strikes. Statewide, they are taking a long list of actions, including taking their full entitled breaks, not entering patients' Medicare details when admitted, and not restocking or reordering supplies, as long as the actions do not endanger the safety of patients or others. The government is offering an 11% increase in wages over the next 3 years, while the Queensland Nurses and Midwives Union is asking for 13% over the same period. At the same time, the state government has secured an enterprise agreement for Queensland Police. While the details have not been published, the agreement includes an $8,000 retention incentive paid in 2 installments over 2 years, as well as what they call enhanced payments for those who regularly work night shifts. The Nursing and Midwives Union say this illustrates the gap between traditionally male-dominated industries and female-dominated industries, but perhaps it's more about the priorities of the state government who came into power on the platform of being tough on crime. Workers in the Department of Transport and Main Roads also took industrial action this week over their own pay dispute, with the government offering a 3% increase as opposed to the 19 to 23.5% increase the Professionals Australia Union are asking for. And airport workers who work for GE Aerospace, responsible for servicing many major airlines' engines, also walked off the job for 24 hours on Tuesday. If you're looking for support with anxiety, depression, stress, ADHD, or relationship challenges, the sponsor of this video, Excel Psychology, may be what you're looking for. They're a warm, inclusive psychology practice based in Spring Hill, about 500 metres from Central Station. With a diverse team of clinical and registered psychologists, they'll help match you with the right psychologists for your needs, often with short wait times. They offer Medicare rebates with a mental health treatment plan and also support work cover and NDIS participants. I featured members of the Excel psychology team in a video on handling stress, and you can check it out here. We'll move now to crime, and the state government has claimed this week that the number of victims of crime relative to population has fallen by 5.7% in the first 6 months of this year, pointing out that victims of car theft are down 6.4%, victims of break-ins are down 12%, and 13.2% fewer people were robbed. However, instead of using data from the Australian Bureau of Statistics, they were using data released each month by the Queensland Police Service. They say this data provides more transparency for Queensland residents, but the opposition have accused the government of cherry-picking information to only include that which supports their narrative. For example, the category of crime that has seen the largest increase year on year, that of other theft, which includes stealing from homes, businesses, vehicles, and other locations, and is the most prevalent category for youth crime, was not included. The Premier said that it was not included as the crimes did not necessarily have a clear victim. To be fair, one election promise that was made was to reduce the number of victims of crime, not necessarily to reduce the volume of crime itself. And this whole assessment of what has changed over the last 6 months has been centered on the number of victims rather than the number of offences committed, which is a different thing. And while we're on the topic of crime, 2 early intervention initiatives that are intended to reduce the chance of at-risk youth from entering the justice system have been announced for Moreton Bay and Ipswich. The Indigenous Mana Academy in Moreton Bay will use rugby league, mentoring, cultural camps and family engagement to support at-risk youth showing early signs of disengagement, antisocial or criminal behaviour. The program will be delivered over a period of 12 months for young people aged between 10 and 17 in the Moreton Bay region. In the Ipswich-Darling Downs region, the first regional reset program will start operating in a matter of months, run by Kokoda Youth Foundation for at-risk youth aged between 12 and 17 in the area. Young people will attend 3 short-stay resets over 1 year at a residential facility in Kokoda Park, where they'll participate in activities to develop emotional, social and physical skills, including cultural learning, mentoring, education, outdoor bootcamp style personal development challenges and digital detoxes. The program will also include family engagement sessions and tailored support to help re-engage youth back into their community and divert them from crime. The program is intended to act as a circuit breaker for those at risk of entering the youth justice system. Okay, we're now less than 7 years out from the Olympics, and the state government is now seeking expressions of interest for industry to prepare an integrated master plan for the Victoria Park precinct, which will include the 63,000-seat stadium, the National Aquatic Centre at the Spring Hill Centenary Pool site, and the Brisbane Athlete Village at the Brisbane Showgrounds. The expression of interest is now open for master planning principal contractors and their subcontractor teams, and will close on Friday the 1st of August. If you've got school-aged children, you may be interested in this next update. Eligible families can apply for vouchers valued at up to $150 to help cover the cost of swimming lessons for children aged 0 to 4. Round 3 opened on the 28th of July, and parents will have until June 2026 to redeem the vouchers. I've put a link in the video description. If you find this video helpful, please click the thumbs up button. You can also say thanks by buying me a coffee or supporting the channel by becoming a member. Thanks to these members for their continued support. In the last week, it has also been announced that land has been purchased in Greenbank, a Logan suburb, for a future secondary school which is expected to cater to future students as the population in the area increases. I'm sure you've observed an increase in people using e-scooters and e-bikes around Brisbane, and an inquiry is currently underway investigating e-mobility safety. Between 2021 and 2024, there was a 112% increase in injuries to people using personal mobility devices, their passengers and pedestrians across Queensland. The inquiry has received around 1,200 submissions so far from commuters, councils, health professionals and industry experts. Public hearings are being held in various locations around southeast Queensland, with one scheduled for Brisbane on Monday the 25th of August. Of course, we'll share the findings of the inquiry here on the Brisbane Channel once they're released. Last week it was revealed that Queensland's elective surgery waitlist saw the number of people waiting for elective surgery drop by the largest amount over a 6-month period since July of 2015. Cynical me thought the drop in numbers must be people who died waiting, but the state government is claiming credit instead, saying that it's down to the success of their Surgery Connect Surge program, which partners with private health providers to deliver more elective surgeries. The target when the program was introduced in February was for 10,000 surgeries to be performed. 6 months in, and they've surpassed that goal with 12,300 Queenslanders receiving surgery through the program. If you live in Greater Brisbane and would like to know more about where your tax dollars will be going this year, be sure to check out this video. And if you missed the last Sunday weekly update, just click here to watch that so that you can stay up to date on all the latest across the wider Brisbane area. I'll see you there or in the next video.